Hello, love bugs. Welcome back. If you watched part one of the video, well, here's part two, where I solved this system, this nonlinear system of equations algebraically. All right, so first thing you want to do is make sure that both of your equations are equal to zero. That's what allows us to stick them together, set them equal to each other, and solve. So both of these guys have y isolated, which means cool. This is one side that equals y. Well, this thing also equals y. So I can take them and put them equal to each other. I'm going to start by color coding just for a moment. Eventually, I'll just switch back to regular black, but we have our top equation. And if you hear me talking to somebody random, my dogs are in here with me, and they are very, very, very much needy for attention. So I apologize if I start randomly talking to somebody. Then we have minus x or negative x squared plus 10x minus 1. And I need to start canceling out terms. I need to start combining some like terms. So first thing I notice is I have an x squared on both sides of my equal sign. So I'm going to move one of them over to the other side. Quite frankly, I prefer to cancel out my negatives if at all possible. So I'm going to add x squared to that side. Goodbye. Add x squared again right there. And so that leaves me with 2x squared. I have plus 3x minus 5 still. I have 10x minus 1 still. And I need to cancel out both of these guys because I did not get rid of my quadratics like I thought I would. That means that if I have a b term, I need to get 0. So I can either quadratic formula this bad boy or factor it. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out my 10x and my negative 1. And that negative 1 cancels. Bring down my 2x squared, 3 minus 10. Let's see, can I do mental math? Negative 7x. This would be embarrassing if this was wrong. And negative 4 equals a big ol' 0. Now this guy is odd. I don't have just a 1 in front of my x squared. And I personally am not even going to attempt to factor this guy. So we're going to jump to the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is this guy in blue. My A, my B, my C value, and I'm just going to plug them in where I see their letters in the formula. Negative B plus then minus, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and split it up. Plus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. And then I'm also going to do the minus side here. That way I can just go ahead and pop both of these into Desmos at the same time. All right. So that will give me my x values for each of these points. And solutions, friends, remember, are x, y answers. All right. Solutions to our equations are always coordinates. So I'm solving for my x's. I'm going to have to pop whatever I get for x back into one of the original equations to solve for y. So I would make sure that you have some extra space over here for that. All right, so over to Desmos I go. There are all my pictures. Here we go. We had negative b plus the square root would be squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. I'm just going to go ahead and simplify that to 4. So our first x value that we get is 4. And we need to find the y value to go with that. Then I'm going to change that to a negative. And so my second x value that I get is negative 0.5. So now, in order to find those two question marks, those two y values, we have our x's. Sorry, somebody's moving outside of my room, outside of my apartment. We have our two original equations. I'm going to take one of them. Well, I'm going to pick one of these equations, probably the purple one, just because it doesn't have a negative. I'm going to plug in the both x values that I found and see what does that give me for y when I calculate. Plug in the next x value and see what do I calculate for my y to be. So that's what I'm going to do over here. We have x squared plus 3x minus 5, and I want to know what that gives me. 16 plus 12 gives me 23. So our first solution is 4 comma 23. And people will ask me about this on Friday, so that is a parenthesis. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my next x coordinate. We have negative 0.5 squared times or plus 3 times negative 0.5, and we're going to calculate to see what that gives us on that side. 0.5 negative, can I square that? Yes. Plus 3 times negative 0.5 minus 5, and that gives me negative 6.25. So my solution again would look like negative 0.5 comma negative 6.25. And these were the 2 points that we saw the graphs intersect at in part 1. So if you did not watch part 1's video and you see all of this algebra and you're like, whoa, what is happening? Where did these numbers come from? What is going on? I urge you to go back and look at the video that's posted before this one to see what it looks like on the graph, and then that might help you with the algebraic concepts. If you are still struggling, or if you have any questions, or if I did something wrong like I did in the last video, apologies. But please feel free to reach out to me if you are not one of my babies. I am Miss Jordan, Taylor Jordan. You can send me an email and be like, hey, you made a mistake here, although I don't think I did this time. But my kids reached out. Thank you, Layla and Franklin, for reaching out to me. Everybody else, stay safe, stay warm, have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to fill out your cheat sheet for your test on Wednesday. And we will see y'all back in school on Tuesday. Bye, y'all. Have a good one.